The man. The myth. The loser? Look on paper. Nicolas Cage should be an absolute comic book god. He named himself after Luke Cage, owned a $1 million copy of Action Comics #1, and lived this cultured way before the MCU was ever a thing. But for 25 years, studios canceled his movies, ruined his CGI, and turned his dreams into meme fuel. So with Spider-Man hype back at an all-time high for Brand New Day, we have to ask, did Hollywood rob a legend? Or was Nick Cage cursed from the start? Tim Burton's Superman Lives, a project with a budget of $30 million, which was stretched within the range of $190 million. Following, the producer made some truly questionable demands. These demands were brought up on multiple occasions.
He's like, I got some directives for you if you're going to move forward on the process. Some things I want you to do and don't in the script. He's going, 3 things. Okay, I said, all right. He's going, 1, I don't want to see him in that suit. 2, I don't want to see him fly. And 3, he's got to fight a giant spider in the 3rd act. And I'm like, let's go back to 1.
Warner Bros. Gets cold feet just weeks before filming because of the box office crash that was Batman and Robin. The world was only left with leaked costume photos and footage for decades. Fast forward 25 years and finally getting Nicolas Cage as Superman in the 2022 Flash movie. And Kevin Smith, once again, immediately need to address
the fucking giant spider in the room. Yes. I was dumbstruck and delighted to see fucking Nick Cage fighting a giant spider in the 3rd act, man.
In the 3rd act.
An empty feeling cameo in some fans' eyes. Cage felt the same, expressing in one of his interviews.
I had no dialogue, convey with my eyes the emotion. Okay. So I was on set for maybe 3 hours. When I went to the picture, it was me fighting a giant spider.
This wouldn't deter the actor from seeking out these roles. In his quest, Cage had achieved the role of Johnny Blaze in the 2007 Ghost Rider. Per usual, Cage was so all into his role for authentic purposes, he ironically had to get his Ghost Rider arm tattoo covered in makeup. Not to mention the physique he trained so hard for just to get accused of it being CGI.
In Ghost Rider, Nicolas Cage's abs are real, they are real, and that's why I will never work out that hard again, because nobody wanted to believe they were real. They wanted them to believe it was CGI, which it wasn't. So, what's the point?
Columbia Pictures managed to make a Ghost Rider movie PG-13. For reference, these dark and demonic anti-hero type characters usually succeed in an R rating setting, proof being the original success of the Blade franchise, and later on the Deadpool series and Logan. Meanwhile, Nick is giving his physical and mental 100% to this character, acting his heart out.
Nick's never afraid to go for it.
Before the sequel of all sequels comes around, director Matthew Vaughn had given Cage the freedom and creativity he so desired, playing Big Daddy in the satirical superhero classic Kick-Ass. Big Daddy's speech pattern was intentionally modeled by Cage after Adam West's classic Batman.
Makes it easier for us to take your word. See, we like you, but we don't trust you.
I am a little hungry.
Of course, Robin. Even crime fighters must eat. And especially you. You're a growing boy and you need your nutrition.
Hamburgers, medium rare.
The time for Spirit of a Vengeance has arrived, and the momentum to Cage's method knows no bounds, painting his face like a centurion to feel like a real demon, he says. Well, the lead actor's efforts were to no avail. The studio's goal in mind was to rush a cheap budget just to keep the rights from reverting back to Marvel. This is definitely a contributing factor to putting his live-action superhero career on hold for over a decade. Before the last section, I'd like to do some honorable mentions. Jiu-Jitsu is, of course, a martial arts film with an element of superhero genre, invoking an alien invasion. Sources say this might have been just a check for Cage, which explains the lack of attention in my research. Astro Boy. In this film release adaptation of the Japanese manga series, Cage plays Dr. Bill Tenma. He goes on to place his dead son's memories into the body of a robot for crime-fighting action. This movie bombed at the box office, making $42 million against its budget of $65 million. Teen Titans Go to the Movie. It seems like studios are playing sick jokes whilst also accommodating fan service. I guess that's what you call balancing when you have Nicolas Cage reprise his role as Superman, a great step in the right direction to get our man a certified respected role. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse hits theaters 2018, and Nicolas Cage is playing the voice of Spider-Noir. Even with the performance being verbal, Cage's presence as the 1930s hard-boiled detective who drinks egg creams and punches Nazis is undeniable. So undeniable, in fact. Behold, the live-action Spider-Noir series. Instead of keeping him in a cheap CGI dungeon, credit is given where it's earned, trusting this unhinged classic cinema energy with a canvas and a great supporting cast. Cage had never really done television, and at his age, he not only jumped out to the opportunity, but gives the Ben Reilly character in and outside the mask its own little touch. Nicolas Cage was never a joke. He was never a loser. From Big Daddy to Spider-Noir, he was a visionary comic book nerd. He was 20 years ahead of his time, waiting for Hollywood studios to catch up. So now I have to ask you, with Ryan Gosling officially taking over as Ghost Rider in the MCU, do you think Nicolas Cage will appear in Avengers Doomsday as the multiverse deals with the incursions and Doctor Doom? And how do you feel about Spider-Man Brand New Day? Comment down below and smash that subscribe button.